The scene has been secured and investigative efforts have been continuing throughout the day. IHIT is here to answer your questions, and our local RCMP detachment's media team has released information focused on the public safety this morning. To address these events, we have heightened police presence and patrols along the waterfront and our surrounding areas. Effective immediately, we are doubling our efforts with additional officers deployed, in addition to our regular shifts. To ensure public safety and instill confidence in our community, we urge all residents to exercise caution and remain vigilant. Our priority is the safety and well-being of our citizens. Rest assured, we are dedicated to keeping you informed and taking every possible measure to uphold an order in our community. We appreciate your cooperation and understanding that during this difficult time. Anyone with information is urged to come forward and contact IHIT. You can reach them at 1-877-551-IHIT, and IHIT is 4448, or email them ihitinfo@rcmp-grc.ca. I now will pass the podium to our RCMP Detachment Commander, Rob Dixon, and he will take your questions.
Thank you, Mayor Knight. Good afternoon, everyone. White Rock RCMP is advising the public of a homicide that occurred Tuesday evening and is requesting anyone who may have witnessed the incident or is taking photos or video in the area to please come forward and contact police. On April 23rd, 2024 at 9:26 p.m., White Rock RCMP received a report of a man suffering apparent stab wounds in the 15400 block of Marine Drive. Despite life-saving measures provided by first responders on scene, the person did not survive. Police arrived on scene within minutes of the initial call, and the Lower Mainland Integrated Police Dog Service also responded. However, the suspect was not located. The suspect is described as a black male, 5'11", wearing a hat and a gray hoodie with the hood up over the hat. He was last seen fleeing northbound from the promenade towards Marine Drive. The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team has been called and will be working in partnership with the White Rock RCMP. The area surrounding the scene has been cordoned off for an undetermined amount of time while police work to gather the evidence. Given the apparent similarities between this incident and the one which occurred on Sunday evening, police are investigating to determine whether or not there's a conclusive link between these two events. Undoubtedly, these violent incidents have raised concerns surrounding safety in our community, and we want to assure the public that their safety is our top priority. Patrols in the area have been increased, and our officers will be working with IHIT to identify the suspect. Any further information will be provided by Sergeant Parati of IHIT. Thank you. Any questions?
Alex Brown, Police News. We find ourselves in White Rock doing high-profile events.
Yes.
We have a lot of people at the waterfront. We have events coming up, including the night market.
Yes.
How will this impact RCMP planning events?
For those events, we've always planned contingencies. We've always had extra members on duty. At this point, we are increasing patrols in the waterfront area. Normally, we start that around May when our events start to happen, but we will be increasing the patrols in the waterfront area following these two incidents. The acts of violence are alarming to me and members of our community. It's not something we're accustomed to seeing here in White Rock. Obviously, they raise concerns surrounding safety. I want to assure the public that identifying and locating the suspects to prevent similar incidents is our top priority. To that end, we're working with the Integrated Forensic Identification Service, IHIT, PDS, Surrey RCMP, as well as the Lower Mainland District. So we have sufficient resources. Yes. Yes.
I'm representing Carolyn from the Member of Parliament. I noticed you had a suspect description of the second stabbing. Do you have a suspect description for the first stabbing?
I don't have that on me, no. It was similar, but I don't have the exact on me, so I'm not going to try and answer that. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Martin McMahon with CCTV. When you say increased you mean? Is it doubling? Like, what will people notice down in that pier area?
So when the initial incident happened on Sunday, we increased our presence and patrols down at the pier. At the time, it was simply increasing those patrols, those foot patrols that we do routinely, and so increasing the frequency of that. Now we will be bringing in extra members so that we have a presence on the waterfront in addition to our members that are currently on duty.
Is there a number in terms of how often officers will be going through, or how many officers are going to be deployed? Any sort of way of sort of quantifying this for people?
No, I will have extra resources. Right now, I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but there will be a significantly more visible presence down there.
Should people feel safe if they're going to be going out there in the next few days or over the next couple of weeks?
Well, as I said, it's understandable that these incidents have raised concern for safety. I understand that entirely. It's important to recognize the fact that although these are shocking, tragic incidents, it's an abnormality to what we normally see here. I live in the community as well. I'm not in White Rock proper, but I live in the South Surrey, White Rock area. I'm here all the time. I would be walking with my family as per normal. I would allow my mother to walk as per normal in the area.
So you wouldn't change any of your own?
I would not change any of my own behavior. There will be an increased police presence in the area. The public will see police more, but seeing police more doesn't mean that it's any more dangerous.
I appreciate suspect still out there, suspect or suspects, depending on how this all works out.
Yes.
Any working theories as to what's going on? Is somebody going down there deliberately looking for trouble, or what?
I'm not going to speak to anything in regards to the investigation. We have 2 investigations going right now. If there's any questions in relation to what happened last night, I would turn that over to Sergeant Brody.
Abigail Turner from CCTV News. I'm just wondering if you increased patrols on Sunday night, or did you wait for a second incident to then increase patrols?
No, we increased patrols the following day. So Monday, we increased the frequency of our patrols in the area. Yeah.
Can you tell me what the communication's been like between you and the victim's family?
I can't speak to that personally. I know that IHIT investigators have been in communication with the victim's family.
I'll direct my questions to yourself then.
Sure. Just regarding speaking with the family and our communication with them, I understand a next of kin was identified right off the bat. We were able to share as much information as we could at the onset of the investigation with the family. From there, we hope that the family would share amongst themselves if necessary.
We did hear that there was a female with the victim last night. She's claiming that the victim was alive for about half an hour, and even when officers arrived at the scene, and they're wondering why they weren't taken to hospital. Do you have any answers in regards to that?
No, I'm not familiar with the exact timeline of how things played out in the first instance. I can say that just from my experience as I had investigator for about 7 years now, we have some great officers that are attending those calls with the paramedics that are going to make those decisions on scene, whether they need to transport or how they can best serve that person. So, without being there myself to give you my side of how that played out, all I can say is that the members that were there and the paramedics that would have attended are highly trained, and I'm sure we're making the best decision they could at the time.
And where do things stand right now in terms of, is there any sense that this was targeted, or does this just seem totally random?
Well, it's still very early in our investigation. We do have members that are out canvassing right now, speaking to as many witnesses as we can, canvassing for video throughout the area. I understand where it happened was on the promenade, but on Marine Way, Marine Drive there is lots of businesses, so we'll be canvassing all of those. So we again ask anyone of those out there that was walking through the promenade that day, or anyone who was along the road driving, if you have dash camera footage, please contact us. It happened around 9:30 p.m., so if you were anywhere in the area east of the pier between 9 and 10 p.m., if you have dash camera footage, please let us know. If you don't know if you actually have it on your vehicle, but you think you might, please let us know. We have experts that can come help look at your car and determine whether it can be extracted or not, or whether your car was recording. Vehicles like Teslas are always recording, so if you were in that area, please do contact us as soon as possible so we can try to get that information. If you were in that neighborhood taking pictures and you don't remember anything suspicious occurring, still contact us. You never know what's going to be in the background of a photo you took, or that thing that didn't seem suspicious to you may be linked to this homicide, so please do reach out to us if you were walking or driving in White Rock along the promenade or along Marine Drive between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. last night.
What was the victim doing last night? Do you know, was he out for a walk, was he jogging, what was he doing?
I don't have that information, I'm sorry.
So at this point, you don't know if the victim possibly knew the suspect, if there was an altercation, or if anything happened? Because RCMP, White Rock RCMP provided that information fairly quickly, it seems like, after the first step.
Yeah. What I can say in this situation, I don't have that information as to what was going on, what the suspect, or sorry, what the victim was doing there at the time. But what I can say is we do have investigators that have talked to the witnesses that were present, and they would have that information. Unfortunately, I just don't have that, hasn't been relayed to me at this time. But we do have people that are speaking to all the witnesses and trying to collect all that information. At this point, we have no reason to think that it was a situation that was premeditated, where somebody came into this looking for a certain individual or anything to that effect.
So at this point, you can't say whether or not it was targeted or if it was random?
Correct, at this point. We're still looking to determine exactly what did happen that day.
Are the victims connected in any way?
Not that I'm aware of, but again, we're going to be working to determine if this homicide is connected to any other incidents that have happened in any period of time. We have expert analysts that come out to every single investigation. They're dedicated to finding those links in a way that I wouldn't be able to. They're excellent at what they do at finding all the connections between anything else going on in the Lower Mainland or beyond if need be.
With the suspect still being on the loose, do you believe that they may commit another violent act?
You know, I don't want to speculate on what could occur in the future. What I can say is, in speaking with the White Rock RCMP, they do have increased patrols. They have extra bodies out there keeping people safe.
I do have a question for Staff Sergeant Dixon, if I could. So you said after the stabbing on Sunday, there were increased police patrols, and then this stabbing happened last night. So what has materially changed in terms of the patrols and the police response now versus after Sunday?
We're bringing in dedicated resources for the waterfront. As of Sunday, we decided to increase the frequency of our patrols down there. We do patrols down there all the time as part of regular duties. We increased the frequency at that time. At this point, we're increasing the amount of members that we have in the area.
I'm sure some people will feel that there's a bit of a disconnect between you saying you wouldn't change your behavior going down there. Now we're hearing that maybe this could be completely random, this person going down there and attacking anybody. I mean, is there a disconnect there? Like, what should the public be exercising an extra degree of caution given the situation?
I think it's always a good idea to exercise a certain degree of caution in these situations, for sure. But I don't think that we're in a situation where people have to dramatically alter their lives. We're dedicated to public safety in the city of White Rock. We will have increased patrols in the area, increased members in the area. And I want the public to know that, that public safety is our #1 priority. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Where is the victim's job? Is that done? Are you releasing that in a second incident?
I don't have that at this time.
Jim, can I ask what the city is looking at, other plans, other measures to take to increase safety for the residents?
Mr. Brewer?
Thank you for the question. I mean, council given us direction to look into CCTV cameras in November 2023. And we currently have an open bid to be able to provide that information to council. The bid closes on May 15th. So we'll be bringing a report to council with some options in regards to the CCTV camera. And of course, we leave these kind of investigations to the best on the province, which is the integrated teams and our local RCMP detachment.
Have you heard from any local businesses if they're concerned that this might affect their business with people coming to White Rock, knowing it's so popular for people to come and visit?
I haven't directly heard from any business at this point, but obviously these are serious incidents, and we're dealing with the best resources that we currently have. So I would like to reassure what Sergeant Dixon just said, that you have the best of the province working on this and extra patrols to be able to deal with this issue.
A question for IHED. I know traditionally IHED's very cautious about releasing certain information, but obviously in this particular circumstance, the public would be wanting to know if this is a random attack and if this is targeted. And right now you're saying that you don't know about this recent incident. So once that information is released, once you know, are you going to release that information?
Yeah, what I can say is IHIT's priority is public safety. And I can appreciate that there's a perception that we may not be sharing information with the public in hopes of maintaining the integrity of our investigations, but we would never hold information back that would jeopardize the safety of the public. So if we knew that there was somebody out there that, or we knew specifically that there was an area out there that you would be in increased danger going to, we would be the first to make sure that we're working with the White Rock RCMP to get that information out there. When I say we don't know whether it's a targeted incident or not, this is very early in our investigation. We're still looking to speak to as many people as possible and build a complete picture of what happened here. Homicides are complex. There's no simple homicides. Whether this stemmed from an incident that occurred a week before, a month before, or whether it stemmed from nothing at all, that's what we're going to determine.
Maybe just a question for Mayor Knight, if possible. How did you feel when you realized the extent of what had happened here? I mean, this happened in your community, and two really violent acts in back-to-back days, and now this is back-to-back, you know what I mean, in a short period of time. I mean, how did you feel when you learned the severity of the situation?
Well, I've lived here for 45 years, so I was completely shocked when it first happened on Sunday night, and then again last night. So it's terrifying when you think that something like this is going on in your neighborhood, and I'm the mayor of the city, and what's happening, you know? We're stuck. We want to help and bring this person to justice, but this is why I leave it to the professionals. They know what they're doing, and we're going to run the city, and we'll give them whatever support we can. If that's more boots on the ground or cameras or whatever it's going to be, we will support it.
And just on the cameras, it sounds like the bid is out. Where's your headspace with cameras? I know some people have privacy concerns or what have you, but where do you stand philosophically on cameras?
Well, I think it really boils down to what are they going to do for us? You know, if they're going to take a picture in the dark and you're not going to see the person anyways, I don't know how well that's going to work. So that's why I'm really looking forward to what staff are going to bring forward and tell us these are the statistics. I'm sure we'll be working with our local RCMP department too to decide if this is going to be the right fit for White Rock. Okay? Thank you.
So I just wanted, from the release, I think said apparent stabbings from yesterday's incident, is that actually confirmed? Was he?
I would pass that over to Sergeant Parati.
I believe what you're asking me is if the victim, it was a stabbing? Yeah, I can confirm it was a stabbing. Yeah.
Was the weapon recovered?
I don't have that information. I have not heard that it has been recovered. Okay.
There were mentions of similarities to the suspects, but could you tell us if there were any similarities with the victims? In terms of either age, race, anything?
It's a great question. In terms of whether there was any connection between the victims, I don't know that specifically right now, but as I said before, we have analysts that are going to be working with the White Rock RCMP. They're going to go through that file to make sure to pull out any connections that might not be even apparent to us at first glance, to see if there is any links like that.
Was race similar?
I absolutely nothing about the victim in the first instance, so I couldn't tell you if there was any connection at all.
Mayor, I was wondering if you could just touch on the crime overall in White Rock. Have you seen a change in the last couple of years at all?
No, I think our numbers are actually down, aren't they, Staff Sergeant? Yes. Our numbers are quite, they're doing very well till this incident happened, or these two. So, we've been very nice and comfortable here. So this has been a big shock to our community for sure.
Well, maybe just throw on, maybe for the investigators.
Sure.
I know that there's been some concerns even from people who operate businesses down there about some of the mental health issues that certain people are dealing with down there. Is there any sense that this falls into more the mental health realm than outright, obviously it is criminal behavior, but is there any sense at all that either of these cases or both of them could have some mental health component?
Without giving my own opinion on what it takes to murder somebody, what I'll say is that we're still working to determine exactly what happened here. And until we can find out who did this, that's when we can find out why they did this. At this point, we're still looking to collect as much information as we can. So we'll again put it out to anybody who is in that area. If you were walking by and you saw somebody that could match the description or not, anyone that stuck out to you, please do contact IHIT immediately. We can be reached by phone or by email. If you're driving in the area and you have dash cam footage, please do contact us. You never know what you may have driven past and not noticed. It could help our investigation, so please do contact us.
Do you believe he's still in the community or they're still in the community, the suspect?
Oh, I'd have no way of, it would just be speculating on that at this point. Yeah.
Will the sketch be available for the person that did it? I mean, the blackmail 9/11 quickly that didn't have it on the description?
Yeah, as further information comes in about the suspect, as we start to collect that, we'll definitely be communicating that with the public. You mentioned a sketch. If we're able to put together a composite sketch, that could be something that we do in the future. I'm hoping for more than that. I'm hoping that surveillance footage would be able to provide us with a good picture of the person who did this, and we could share that with the public and look for the public's assistance in finding this individual. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming in.
That's our update from White Rock Mayor Megan Knight, the RCMP, the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, as well as the Chief Financial Officer, the City Manager of White Rock, as they're responding to two disturbing violent attacks, one of which has turned deadly. A person has been killed. That happened last night around 9:30 on the area known as East Beach along the White Rock Promenade. If you've ever been there, just east of the White Rock, it's a little bit, in terms of businesses and homes, it's a little bit less busy than you normally find on what's known as West Beach. You can see the White Rock there. This is the area where that victim was found. As we heard, they died at the scene. Let's go back to Joel Ballard now. Joel, let's break down the major points we heard from police around what's happening with this investigation.
Yeah, Dan, there's a few things from both the White Rock RCMP and IHIT that I wanted to highlight. So number one, of course, they're saying that safety is their top priority right now. So White Rock RCMP, they're going to be increasing their patrols in the area. They said after the first incident on Sunday, they had already increased patrols. They're saying they're going to do that even more so now. There's going to be a really big police presence in White Rock along the promenade. They're also working to determine whether these two incidences are linked. So it's important to remember we got a description of the suspect, and from both incidences, they're very similar descriptions. A black man, about 5'11", wearing a gray hoodie and a baseball cap. That was the description from Sunday, and it almost exactly mirrors the description. Sorry, that was the description from Tuesday, which almost mirrors the description from Sunday. The last thing they're saying, of course, any witnesses who have information, please bring that forward. Any videos, any photos. And finally, they said it's important to use extreme caution in these moments, but not to alter your life. So the sergeant from the White Rock RCMP said you can still enjoy the promenade. He would not tell his family not to go walking along there, but he says, of course, use extreme caution.
We also heard from questions around closed-circuit TV cameras. That is an issue that's been brought forward to White Rock Council, whether or not they want increased cameras or cameras at all. The Chief Financial Officer says they'll be bringing options to Council when it comes to closed-circuit TV cameras. We heard from the Mayor as well, Joel. She says that they will give whatever support police need and resources. And we should also clarify that, if I remember right, the staff sergeant said on Sunday after the first attack where the person got slashed, they increased the frequency of patrols. This time they're actually putting in more dedicated officers down near the promenade. And we should keep in mind they're getting help from IHIT as well as Surrey RCMP, because the White Rock detachment itself, it's a small detachment for anybody who has been there. So waiting to see if we get any updates. We should also clarify that police are looking into whether there are any connections between the two victims, one of whom is dead, has been killed. The other, who was slashed, has survived, though we have heard from his wife that they're newcomers to Canada and now they're considering going back to India because they do not feel safe here. Joel Ballard, thanks very much for all the updates.
Thanks, Dan.
And for any more information, we'll have updates on this story throughout the day and into the evening. Check our website, cbc.ca/BC. We'll have it on our news program at 6 o'clock as well as 11 o'clock. You can watch both of those on our CBC Vancouver YouTube page, and check CBC Radio 1 for the latest updates. I'm Dan Burritt. This is CBC News, BC.